happening, gang? It's your boy Retro back again with another reaction video. Yeah. Say we got another huge update. Now you guys can probably already tell it is going down. Just by that title alone, you guys are definitely going to want to see this one, as we got that Senator Chuck Schumer find himself in very hot water after biting off way more than he could chew in this newest update, guys. I'm excited to get into this one, so we're not straight into it. Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Before we even get into it, you guys hit that like button, also hit that subscribe button for your boy. And without further ado, let's get straight into it, folks. Check this one out.
11, and then if you go all the way back to 1993, remember when Al Gore and Bill Clinton said this.
This report tells us how to cut waste, cut red tape, streamline the bureaucracy, change procurement rules, change the personnel rules, and create a government that works better and costs less.
The Reinventing Government, or REGO, report aims to save $108 billion over 5 years through eliminating scores of wasteful programs and regulations. Among the 800 recommendations, eliminating 12% of the federal workforce, merging some government agencies like the FBI, the DEA, and the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, closing hundreds of government offices outside Washington.
I don't remember Democrats complaining about that, and they wanted to cut twice the number of federal jobs that President Trump does.
That's exactly right, John. If you listen to those words, those are from Democrat Party leaders who are allegedly still beloved by Democrat voters today. And they were promising the American people the very same things that President Trump promised the American people, won the election on, and now is actually delivering on. That's the only difference between what President Trump is doing and what these Democrats have promised the American people for decades. He's actually following through on the promise to cut federal government waste, fraud, and abuse. And this is the first president to actually do such a thing, and the Democrats are up in arms about it. But our country is going bankrupt, and President Trump is not going to sit back and allow it to happen.
Caroline, could I ask you for a clarification? Sander here, by the way, and thanks for coming back on with us. It seems there's being a lot made of what Elon Musk's role is actually at Doge. The president has introduced him as the head of Doge multiple times in interviews, yet there's this affidavit that we've been able to get our hands on here, that the press has as well, that it contradicts the White House claim that he's the head of Doge. This affidavit actually says he doesn't work for Doge at all. Reading directly from it, it says Musk is not an employee of the U.S. Doge Service or the U.S. Doge Service Temporary Organization. That's according to the director of the White House's Office of Administration. So what is his role at Doge?
Sure, I'm happy to clarify. Elon Musk is a special government employee here at the White House, serving at the direction of the President of the United States, Donald Trump. Elon Musk has been tasked with overseeing Doge on behalf of the President. And Doge employees, Doge folks, have been onboarding at respective agencies.
And I'm sorry to stop, guys, but can we just take a moment to appreciate Caroline Leavitt, our newest White House press secretary? I mean, come on, the transparency, coming out saying, hey, let me clear that thing. Let me clarify for you guys. Let me clear this whole thing up, and then running it down. She doesn't run away from the question to say she needs to refer to someone else like previous administration, cringe Jean-Pierre. I mean, come on, you guys. I just had to take a second to appreciate that, because the way she has elaborated and broke this down for us, I mean, who could complain about her?
Has been tasked with overseeing Doge on behalf of the president, and Doge employees, Doge folks have been onboarding at respective agencies across our federal bureaucracy as political appointees, just like any other political appointee gets on board with the new administration with the changing of hands. And those individuals are helping the secretaries at all of our agencies that have been nominated and confirmed by President Trump in the United States Senate to cut waste, fraud, and abuse at these respective agencies. So that's the way Doge has been set up, and that's the way it will continue to operate.
All right. Well, let's come back to the plane crash in Toronto that happened yesterday, and the fact that Democrats seem to be pointing the finger of blame at the president. I'm not quite sure how you make that connection when the crash occurred in a different country. But here's what Chuck Schumer said. He said, quote, "To those asking whether it matters that the plane's destination was in Canada, the flight took off from Minneapolis. The FAA was still responsible for inspecting the aviation equipment, and Trump just let go of FAA safety specialists."
I mean, in this right here, this is dangerous rhetoric. Again, they're blaming Donald Trump for every single thing that happens in the country. This wasn't even in our country, ironically. I mean, come on. When will they give it a break, blaming this guy, Donald Trump, and just allow him to take lead, do what he's doing?
For inspecting the aviation equipment, and Trump just let go of FAA safety specialists. We have no idea what caused this crash. We have some video of it coming in for a hard landing, but we don't know if it was a failure of equipment, or if it was weather, if it was pilot error, or if it was something else. And yet you get the minority leader in the Senate immediately pointing fingers at the president. Your response?
It's incredibly irresponsible for Chuck Schumer to say such a thing when the investigation is still underway. And as you rightfully pointed out, John, this crash unfortunately took place in Canadian airspace with Canadian air traffic controllers overseeing it. And the facts about the FAA are that no air traffic controllers have been let go by Secretary Duffy or this new administration. In fact, Secretary Duffy has put great emphasis on hiring the best and the brightest air traffic controllers who want to be part of the FAA, and President Trump signed a very strong executive order to ensure that the FAA and all federal government agencies are focused on merit and skill-based hiring. We want the best and the brightest, the most competent individuals in positions, especially of public safety at the FAA, the Department of Transportation, and all departments across this federal government, so we can best serve the American people. So while Secretary Buttigieg and the Biden administration sat on their hands when it came to aviation safety for 4 years, this administration is taking it seriously and is actively recruiting the best and the brightest to join this very important field.
And honestly, this whole issue of the DEI, I don't see why these Dems want to keep fighting back against it, saying that Donald Trump is wrong and doing or carrying out the mass firings that he has. Mind you, if you're sitting and you're sick, God forbid, and you're in the hospital, there's 2 doctors in front of you, they say, hey, this doctor, he was only hired because he's a minority male, and that's why he's in that spot. He did not study very hard. He had average grades, but he's a doctor. The other doctor worked and studied his whole entire life, is world renowned. Which doctor you gonna pick to work on you? Of course, you're gonna choose that doctor. It's a no-brainer. The one that's most qualified every single time, because it makes the most sense. And that's what Donald Trump's administration is trying to do. They're trying to cut out that quota to where you have to have a guy because he fits the criteria. No, don't judge me by the color of my skin. Judge me by the contents of my character, my capabilities. I'm with that versus this whole DEI thing.
Caroline, we know that Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State, has been having some critical meetings overseas, Saudi Arabia. We've got Steve Witkoff joining him as well, Mike Waltz. What can you tell us is coming from that? He seems to be putting out some optimism that things may be getting closer to an actual deal being made.
I'm so glad you asked, Sandra, because this is a truly monumental step towards peace in the Russia-Ukraine war. At the direction of President Trump, Secretary Rubio, a special envoy Steve Witkoff, and our national security advisor Mike Waltz spoke to the Russians today and made significant steps towards peace. This is the first step of many. And I'd like to point out that our administration, including President Trump himself, has been in direct correspondence with the Ukrainians as well, including President Zelensky. President Trump also talked to our European allies yesterday. He had a phone call with France's President Emmanuel Macron. Next week, the Prime Minister of the UK will be here at the White House. And so we're ensuring that all parties are heard. But you have to speak to both sides of the war in order to truly negotiate a deal and problem solve. Exactly. And this is a significant first step towards peace. Again, when the previous administration had no negotiations, no discussions, really no diplomacy in this effort, President Trump and his team are taking significant steps with just being here for 4 weeks.
Yo, there we have it, guys. Very exciting to see what Donald Trump, his team, has been able to get done over the course of only 4 weeks. I mean, just like Caroline Levitt is saying, the Biden administration could never You know, they could never do the things that we see being carried out over these past 4 weeks. It's so sad to see the way these folks, these loonies on the left, want to come after and nitpick Donald Trump and Elon Musk for every single thing they do, all the way down to Elon Musk and his title, his job title over there at the Department of Government Efficiency. I mean, this guy was appointed by Donald Trump to audit our federal government spending. I want to look at this number. I want to say $4.7 trillion unaccounted for federal government expenditures. This is our taxpayer dollars being shoveled, sent out the door. It's not traceable whatsoever. It's just gone. $4.7 trillion, guys. It's insane to hear. After hearing that stat, I was thinking to myself, hey, I want my federal refund back for the last 10 years. I don't even think I was working that long, but 10 years is what I wanted back. I think I started working around 15. So yeah, I was working then. I wanted all the way back to when I first started working, with the amount of fraud and, just excess spending from our federal government. It does not make any sense why there is $4.7 trillion that is untraceable. This is exactly why Donald Trump has appointed Elon Musk in the position that he's in, guys. But definitely hop in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts. Also, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you enjoy more content like this, catch you guys on the next one.